Okay.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Planner Craft's 11 o'clock stream. And this morning I'm going to be working through some basic techniques back in Canvas Workspace, the desktop version. So we're going to be doing things like welding text, importing glyphs into Canvas, so how we can change our text when we have lots of different glyphs on your text. We're also going to do text to path and how we bend it on a shape.
We're missing a bit. There we go. We turned the logo off, obviously.
Had we?
Yeah.
Is it back now?
I hope so.
Okay.
There we go.
I can't see because it's not on that. And we turned them off for doing the thing you wanted, didn't we?
Ah, there you go. So Lou says good morning. Tracy
morning.
says good evening.
Yes, good evening, Tracy. So Natalie is manning the comments for me, so she's keeping an eye on those for me.
Oh. Yep.
So if you do have any questions along the way, you want me to do anything again?
Hi Zena. Hi Carol. Hopefully you recovered from yesterday, Carol. Hi Linda. There we go.
Linda with a Y or Linda with an I?
Linda with a Y.
Ah. Because we have two now.
I'm sure we have more than two because we've taught at least 3 Lindas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
So, welcome everybody. So, we've got a few in. We'll start with, I don't want to flow. So, this is the desktop version of the Canvas Workspace. It is the most up-to-date version, which for the Mac is 2.3.
Yeah, 2.3.1.
No, 2.3. Because 0.1 didn't work, did it? You had to put it back.
Well, we were on 2.3.1 for some point.
Ah, okay. And I think on the PC it's 2.3.3 or 3.2, something like that. But make sure you've got the most up-to-date version. You'll know if you have, because down here you'll have your fit to path and your convert to shapes for your text if you have the most up-to-date version. If you're missing that bit, all you need to do is log into the Brother support site and just download the most up-to-date version. If you'd like me to show you that quick, let me know and I can do that on a...
Don't even news popping up on my
That's
phone.
okay.
Useful. Okay.
Okay.
And Julia's joined us.
Ah, Julia.
Julia.
Ah, Julia.
Yes.
Hello, Julia.
And Trish.
And Trish. Hey! Like a full house.
Whew. Very warm full house, I have to say.
Melting house.
Yeah.
So we're going to start by clicking our text tool. And we're going to type. What should we type today? I think I quite like what we did with the Planner Craft one. I'm going to do from welding first. I might do the welding.
Yeah, do a wedding or something like that.
So we have wedding. So as we can see at the moment, the text is quite well spaced out on here. So there's 2 ways that we can weld this. So obviously we need to make sure that all our text is overlapping at some point. So in our properties at the top, we can come down here and we can play with our character spacing. Now this was almost it. On this one it's gone on to Apple Chancery for the text. It's a slightly scripted font. And we can just bring it together until it all touches. Let's just make that a little bigger so we can see. There you go, so we can see the E touches the D, that one touches there, that one touches there, that one touches there. So obviously the W here doesn't quite touch yet. But if we going backwards with the character spacing, the rest of it starts to lose eligibility. So what we can do now, so we can weld that one first. So we go into our edit and weld, and there we can see it's welded all our bits nicely. Did it do that one? May have missed just there, but that's okay, we can still sort that out. So if there's any bits that we've missed, we can sort that out. So first of all, let's sort out the bits we've missed. So our next option is if you then go to divide, and we can see we've got the W that's not quite attached, and also here the I, N and G wasn't quite close enough. So we can move the W first, so if we click off, and we can just edge that in using the arrow keys, just to the point where it connects. Connect it up to the everything else needs to go a little bit closer. There we go. And there we go, we can see that's now connected. And then with this bit, don't forget to take the top of the eye. And again, a couple of notches back. And there we have it all welded. And then to keep it all together, you can just group it so the top of your eye stays in place if you do move it around. So that's one way of doing it. Everybody okay so far?
So far?
Any questions?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So, another way of doing it. Let's start again, go back to our text. We'll put the same word back in just for...
It's quite delayed today, so I don't know if you want to kind of pause for a little bit just in case there are any questions.
Yeah, I can wait.
There's about a minute delay.
About a minute delay, that's not good.
Yeah, it's put quite a buffer in today. So basically when we're streaming, we're about a minute ahead of you in actual terms. What's that?
I might have to do that later, Tracy, because obviously I haven't got the camera set up for the scan and cut. So what I'll do is I'll set it up later. So when Natalie does her stream this afternoon, we'll do that first before we start Natalie's stream.
Or I can do it as part of my thing if you tell me what it is that I've got to do.
No, basically what Tracy suggested is that we do a word, cut a word that's not welded, and then cut the same word after it's welded, so people can see the difference in the cut.
Okay.
Because it threw it the first time she did it, so.
Yeah, we can do that.
So yeah, we can do that. So let's put my wedding back in. Do you have any questions whilst I was answering that, I suppose?
No, not yet, so carry on.
No, okay. So, another way we can do it is down here we have convert to shapes. So we can convert it to a shape and then divide it. Now by doing that, it makes all our letters individual. So now we can move each letter. The only thing I will do is group my I back together, just so it keeps those two together. So then we can move individually across. It did go to Natalie, Tracy. I've got it up on my phone. It's just easier just to me.
Yeah, because I've got the feed coming through on my
Natalie's
phone, and I've got the remote for the streaming now working on the iPad again. Yay! Took a bit of hair pulling yesterday, but we finally got it back working.
Yeah. So with this one now we can move each of the letters individually. And the advantage of doing it this way as well is you can also, if you wanted to tilt it or change to the direction of it, you could also do that as well. And so here with this eye, I think I could do it a bit higher. I can spring that up just that little bit. And then bring the N across. Connect the two up. And then the G.
Don Don's is watching too.
Hi Donna. Hope you're well.
We'll have to catch up too.
And then we can select it all. And then weld. And just it all in one go. And then just group it just to make sure you keep that eye in place when you move it around on your screen. So that's another way you can do it and just move things around. Make that nice and easy. Right?
Yeah, I put my pen behind the iPad and then couldn't see it.
I lost it.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yeah, do you want my phone so you can see the...
That's okay.
No, so you can see the...
Okay. Okay. I've hijacked his phone off him. Doesn't happen very often.
No. So that's how we can do that and set that up nicely. And then we can obviously send that to our machines if we want to. So that's that one done. So next one, back to our text tool. So if we want to add some glyphs, now it's slightly different on a Mac than it is to a PC, but it should work in the same way. So I'm just going to put in Planner Craft because that's our company name. And I'm going to select a different font, just because there's one that I know works and that we've already had working. So this is Love Your Script, which is a free one off.
Right, Carol. Yes, you can, but I'll get him to do it with a different font. So.
What's that?
Carol's asked if you can do like one up, one down, like it's castellated.
Well, so you can move the...
Yeah, so basically you end up so that it's... where's my desk pad gone?
Just run the back of that for a minute.
I will do a quick doodle for him. There we go. Like that.
Yeah. Well, so one letter's up, one letter's down, one letter's...
Yeah.
Yeah. That, I was saying you can move it.
But what I was saying is not with that font. I wouldn't recommend doing that with a scripty font. No. So you could always do that with, there's one that's called something like Azo something.
Yeah.
It's a black one. You could do that with in a minute.
Okay. So, importing glyphs. Now for the Mac you need to have your font manager open, which is this one here, which is what I've got open at the side. And so I was saying that the font Lovia is one that we've had off, I think it's a Font Bundles one, isn't it?
It is indeed.
There you go. So that's a free one off Font Bundles, I think, or it was.
It was free, and I believe you have to pay for it now.
Okay, so it is there if people want to get it. It's quite a nice font. Comes with lots of extra bits, which is why we've got it selected.
I think I put it up on a post ages ago on group where we'd said about it.
Okay.
But there's like 4 different weights to it,
Yeah.
so it all comes as one package.
Yeah, because it comes with brush, doodle, script, and script italic. With this one, it gives you an option that we can change the script. So if you're using a PC, you will need to open your character map, which you will find in, if you go to your Windows key and all the way down to Windows Accessories, and it's in there, and it's about the 3rd or 4th one down. It has like a little cube that looks like a a dice as a big icon with characters written on it for the character map. Open this, and what we can do is we can find, so if I want to change this P, which is the one I want to change, first of all we can click on it so we have our text at the bottom, and we can scroll up or down. Let's find the capital P for our...
it's not the capital P, it's the P with the heart at the beginning, we said.
That one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we want that one first, so we can copy that. You can either right click on it, and my right click is working.
It doesn't work on there, you just do Command C for a copy.
So you can right click and copy if you want to, or file and copy.
So it's right click and copy if it's on character map, but in Fontbook you need to just do a Command and C on your highlighted character. Okay.
Yeah. It's having a moment. There we go. And then you paste it back in, and there you go. So when you look here, I don't know if you can see on my text here, it's now put a question mark where I've put in the glyph. That's because it can't recognise it in this section.
Oh, we caught up a bit as well.
We've caught up a bit. Whee!
Hey!
Okay, so we've now got our lovely little heart at the start and our P. And then at the other end, we're going to change the T so it matches, so we can have the T going the other way, so the text comes out. You can go to edit and copy up there, just to show that it can be done that way. And then you can paste it in, and there you go. So now you can see, make that bigger, that we now have our hearts at each end of our text just by using the glyphs. So literally all you have to do is copy from one and paste it into the other, and that's how you get any of your glyphs or alternative letters into your program, as long as you have it installed. Yes?
Okay.
Yep. Any questions on that one?
No.
No. Right, so you want me to do like a castle
Yeah.
effect?
Awesome, where you can kind of go hickledy-pickledy and
Okay.
show, like, playing with individual characters.
Yeah, well we did that on a little bit on the last one, because we pinched the... Because when you divide it individually with convert to shapes, it means you can move them up and down and
Yeah.
mess. But yeah, I'll do it another one. No, still.
Tracy's never used Fontbook for doing that. There's lots you can do with Fontbook. It is very clever. And Tracy, you know how I did the little automation thing for the preview that I sent you? You can actually automate some Fontbook stuff that way as well, so you can actually get the Mac to actually print a sort of directory of your fonts as well.
No, there we go. Back and working. But my mouse packed up for a second there.
Yeah.
So.
Very good, you're sliding around.
No, it stopped before that, dear. I had to turn it off and turn it back on. The old-fashioned way of fixing things. Right, back to text, we're in different font. So let's have a word that we can. Let's have a castle, shall we? Castles. There we go. Let's change our font. So let's go back to our properties. And what did you say your font was, you thought? Diazo
Yeah.
Sanzuba.
That's the one. So it's nice and black and...
Nice and bold, yeah. So we'll go to our properties and we'll convert it to shapes and divide it.
Just quickly to interrupt while you're doing stuff here. Tracy, you don't have to print the pages. You could always just save it as a PDF, so you keep like a digital copy. That way you can just thumb through it, so to speak, on your computer screen, and you can see them that way.
What's that?
If you do like the font catalogue.
Ah, yes.
Rather than necessarily printing them out, because obviously we've got hundreds we won't want to print that out.
Yeah. So with this now we can do each letter. So what I will do very quickly, if I turn on my snap to grid, and then go back. So for that one, I can have that one up, that one down, that one up. Move that one down. Move that one up. Move that one down. That goes a little bit too far. So if we turn the snapping back off, we can then move it across individually. And because we put the snap to grid on to start with, we know that all our letters have gone the same height up and gone back to the same height down. We didn't move it down. There we go, we can move all those. So you could have it like that. Is that how you meant?
Or you could also do them like angled, so you get like a really funky kind of...
Yeah,
like
if you do decide that you want to turn
I think I did it with the party, didn't I?
You can just twist a particular letter, so we can have the C coming in that way and the S going out that way, which then gives you a sort of a wavy line rather than just your straight up and down. And of course we can edit each letter individually if we want to. Does that help, Carol? Does that answer your question?
It is. I think I missed Carol's. Ah, there we go. Sorry, Carol, I missed yours, didn't I? Carol says what is Fontbook? It's basically the Mac equivalent of Character Map for PC.
Yeah, so on yours, Carol, you need to find your character map. So if you go into your Start menu and down right at the bottom into Windows and Windows Accessories, there is one in there called Character Map, which brings up a similar sort of box to this here at the side. And you can find all your glyphs and everything in there.
You'll tend to find them also with your decorative scripty fonts, which is why Love You is such a good one to kind of demonstrate with. But you'll get the same with things like Beach, any of the sort of fancy-ended fonts. So think like if something has a preview with a really curly Y, for instance, the chances are it's going to have lots of different glyphs because you won't necessarily want to have a curly Y in the middle of words, so therefore they tend to put multiples in.
Very quickly, what I will do is just do a group, and then if you did want to do a map round it for cutting it out, You can put an offset.
Carol's just found a character map. And she didn't know it existed. And Sarah Lou says, yes, she's got windows too, and roof and doors too.
And what? Doors.
Roof and doors. I need more windows.
There you go. We have our map there. At the back. I don't think our text has disappeared forever. Oh, I hit my text. It deleted my text, sweetie.
It deleted your text. That was naughty of it.
It was.
You can always redo it. So this afternoon it's the start of our unusual materials.
There we go, that's the way to do it.
Our unusual materials week, so I'm doing foam later.
Foam, are we?
Foam.
Ooh. So what I did there to create my border, because it came in with all my individual letters, rather than when I welded it welded everything, so all my letters disappeared. So in my layers panel at the back, obviously I had all my letters individually. Because I grouped it, I was able to lock that group, which means that it won't affect it whatever I do to it. And then I was able to select my shape for all the rest of it for the outside, and then welded that together, which gives us our nice matte layer for the back. So if I turn off that group, you can see we have the matte layer for the back. So if we wanted to create a map for it, if we turn that off, we just have our text.
Mm-hmm.
Happy with that?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody happy? Any more questions for that bit?
Do I have to import the character map into Canvas, or just bring it up each time I want to use it? You just bring it up each time you want to use it. You copy the character in character map, and it will probably have something like Control Alt and a series of 4 digits. Because it does on a PC, because it uses the ASCII mapping.
Yeah, we can still just copy and paste
but
it.
You just copy and paste that code, and then when you put that into Canvas, it will just carry on.
And can you not still do it like this and just click on the one and then...
It's slightly different.
I'll have to have a look because I haven't played with it on the PC.
Admittedly, it's been a while since I did, but yeah, I'm sure. I mean, last time I looked at it, you had to have.
I will check on the window.
Code.
We've got the laptop.
We could do a thing if we could hook it up some way, couldn't we? So we could use it as like a second screen, so you can kind of compare the two.
Yeah.
So.
I'll have to have a look at that. I don't know how we do it because. It's one to ponder. I think I know how we could do it, but I don't know how we do it, if that makes sense. If you had a HDMI splitter.
Don't you need something out into an import, so yeah. That's the trouble. You'd have to find some other way of sending it rather than HDMI.
That comes in via HDMI.
Come on, think about it, Ian. You're going in the wrong direction, which of course you said. Right, so we'll ponder that one. It would probably be that we'll have to do like 2 separate streams.
We'll have to do another separate stream. It's got the stream app set up on it.
Yeah, so we'll do it on PC.
Right, so that's that one. What was I going to do? Shape. So let's delete my castles. Oh, it's still logged without deleting.
Yeah, don't forget to unlock.
So, next one. So if we want to do a font or text and we want it to go round a curve of a circle, shall we say. So first things first, let's put our circle in. So our circle, just move that down from the edge. And then we want some text. What should we put in this time?
Tracy has 7,596 fonts in her font book. She says no wonder she struggles to find one she likes. Right, Tracy, what I will do is, I'll do this rather than Ian because, yeah, it's a bit more advanced, is I will show you how to put your 7,596 fonts into collections so that you can find them a little bit easier. So if you note on the left hand side of Fontbook on screen, you've got fun, modern, PDFs and serif scripts, serif, traditional and web, and you can actually create those yourselves.
Using the little plus button down here, which you probably can't see because it's by the logo.
Yep, which is why I said that I would do it on a kind of one-to-one basis.
Yeah. So I've selected both my text and my shape, and I'm going to go to my edit font options, and down here we have fit to path, and we can go dink, and there it goes. There we go. Well, that's upside down, that's no good. If we go into our properties folder, we can change which way the text runs. So you can come to the inside, the outside, you can go in the middle. We can change which way it reads, so it goes from the top to bottom. We can flip it to the side. We can distribute it right round. That's new, didn't used to do that.
Ooh, new button.
New button, yay! Do like things we can play with. So if we then put that to middle as well, and there you go, you have your text in the centre. And it goes all there. If you want to move where your word starts, so if you want the top of your word to be at the top, you can just move your C to the top, and then it reads round. Oh, I was going to say, what's Cetabella? Wait for somebody to ask what Cetabella is. And we can also change the direction, so if you want it to go the other way, you can turn it around.
Oh, Tracy!
What's that?
It's still going up. She's now on to 7,931 fonts.
Oh.
Right. When it comes to fonts that are on your system, because Tracy said about there's something that she didn't put in there. There are like 3 kind of sources for fonts on your computer. One is what actually came with your operating system, whether that's Windows or Mac, and you tend to get, you know, around about 20 to 30 with your operating system, and sometimes more. Then you have the ones that software puts in. So, for example, if you've ever downloaded like some music scripting software, it handles all those notes as a font. So I used to be able to actually type music, which is cool. And finally, the third one is the ones that you put in yourself.
Putting us to shame, we only have 501.
It's because you've still got like hundreds to to install, haven't you, in the download folder now?
You put more in, have you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so as we were saying, once we're happy with how our word looks, we have it here. The important bit is to go into Edit and convert it to shapes. Now this is your final thing to do with this, because once you've converted it to shapes, it's stuck at that.
So check for typos.
Yes, make sure you spell whatever you're spelling right, otherwise you have to start again. So there we can see my circle in the middle has disappeared, and we're just left with a circular celebrate, which we can then enlarge, shrink and manipulate, and still turn it around if we want to. So rotation isn't an issue, but for actually how the word is written, we can't change that. And we can move that back up the top. So that's how we can do the basic shapes, and we can do that to any shape. It will try and fit it to any shape. And last but not least is a fit to path. So this is where you can take your path tool, not your freehand tool, use your path tool. Now the reason we don't use the freehand tool is, as I found earlier, if you draw a squiggly line using your freehand tool, it puts in thousands and thousands of nodes. And when you come to say, oh, I don't like that little bit of a line, trying to then correct that by adjusting nodes is a nightmare. So if you want to do a nice wavy line, the easiest way is you click, and then you can move it to a bit further across, and we can click and drag, and then we can hook it back round and change it if we want to. If we want to bring it back down, like so. So there we have our wavy line, and then we can do our text. And select our path underneath, and then fit to path. And there we have our confused.com on a path, and we can distribute it. Great. So if we want to change that, we can.
The other thing to bear in mind is with what Ian is doing, is if you have a font that's made up of decorative elements rather than letters, you can still put those onto a path, so it can be a really easy way to create a frame, for instance. That's better. There we go, we can have it there. That's definitely confused.com, isn't it? What do you reckon? Oh yeah.
And again, once you finish, as we were saying earlier, you can then affect your path if you want to. So if you think, well, I don't like the way that sits, so taking our handles here, we can adjust how it sits, so you can go different ways.
Which bit are you confused about, Zena? And I'll get in to just go over it again. Do you want to go back and do something like kind of keeping the like basic shape going and putting text around that, and then putting glyphs onto the basic shape rather than just onto the straight text? Or you can even use it like a decorative font, like an ornamental one.
I'll go back to a circle because it's nice and easy, isn't it?
And can you go a bit slower on the fit to path, please? I'll tell him off, Zena. Because I can do today.
That's alright, you got me later.
Yeah, well later I'm going to be going very, 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 very slowly anyway. Because otherwise I'm going to risk losing people. So I will be going oh so slow.
So there's your shape first. And go text, let's go back to Planner Craft with our font. And we'll put it back to our scripty one. So let's see if we can fit it to path first and then change the text if we want to. So select them both, into properties, and then you want to go to this one down here and fit to path. We then want to change how it sits.
Yeah, well for once it's not me losing people, Carol. We got you there eventually.
So then if we want to change that one, it's still there, so we can copy and paste and change the P again. Let's go back and find our P with a heart. Copy it. And paste it. Have it on the outside, it looks better on the outside. And we can make it a bit bigger and it will just grip. And spin that round. So we get a nice edge to it there. And then to convert that to shapes, say we're happy with it, and there it is. There we go, we can make that bigger. It's more legible. And then we could send that to our machine if we wanted to.
I'll try an ornamental one now and do a frame. And Zena's saying slow down.
That was slow.
Slow.
It was.
Step backwards. Go and do.
That's fine, I'll do it again. So. Basic shape. Move it into the middle. So it's out of your way.
Yeah, you want to allow enough room for your text to go around it.
Text tool. Let's type good old hello, just because it's boring. Let's make it a bit bigger. And let's pick a font which is characters rather than text. There we go.
Oh.
So, doesn't really matter what it says anymore because that's just the what it comes up with. So
that's funky.
we select both our text and our shape that we want to make it go around. We go into Edit, down to this one here. Click Fit to Path. And then to mess with how it presents, go back up to Properties, which is your paintbrush at the top. And then you have your alignments here. So if we justify it, then it spreads it around you.
That's cool. So I take it that the bunch of parts are all one character.
Yes.
That is quite cool.
So that's a H, that's an E, that's two L's, and that's an O.
But if you want to do like a regular border, you could go like la 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 la.
So if we want to change our text,
like.
we could have there you go, so you can create a border like that. And the more we put in, the more it scrunches it up for us. Oh, that's starting to get a little crowded.
Yeah, that's a little too crowded.
So let's go to there, but they don't overlap. Or if you wanted something a bit more elaborate, you could use your H's.
We found a load on a archive disk that we've got, so yeah, we've seriously expanded the number of fonts that we've got.
So you could go a little mad.
Cool, blimey.
What have we got for an A?
That would make a really nice scrapbook layout, you know.
Or we could go with the
We
A's.
did like a Valentine's one.
Quite like that one.
Ooh, party streamers. Or at least that's what it looks like from here. That's cool.
Yeah, I think that one's a bit few too many because of the getting too close. Those are just A's, so you know, and that's how you can play with
Ornamental fonts.
Yeah, almost like a peacock feather with your hearts. What do you think?
Oh, see, I think that would look so nice as a scrapbook background.
Mm.
Can you imagine if whether you drew it or if you foiled it or even embossed it? Oh, or you could do a combination of the two.
Mm.
So you could cut it out.
If you had
a thingy big enough.
emboss it, then foil it.
Yeah.
Or foil then emboss.
That's worth experimenting with. Oh, see, look, he's got me started on something else.
I quite like K as well.
Carol says, how would they cut out? Do you have to group them? They would still cut out individually, so whether you group or not.
Yeah.
So the trick is that when you do something like that, you keep your waste, and then you kind of adhere them through your waste, and then take the waste off very carefully.
Say we had our K's, which I quite like the K's, they're quite funky. Yeah, like that, and then we decide, yeah, we're happy with that. We can then go back to our edit, convert to shapes, so that keeps it in that
circle.
So there it is. Now, if you wanted to put a layer around the outside, you could either do your offset, take off that so it doesn't do the inside bits, and press OK. And now you've got your matte layer around the outside.
And if you wanted to make it easier for yourself in terms of adhering them, the trick is to use the adhesive sheet that I was using the other day for the leafing. Apply that to the back of your card instead, and you've got basically a ready-made sticker. So you keep your backing paper on like your mat, and then you just peel off the individual little cards and then just stick them through. And then you can go and use that mat on something else. So you essentially get 2 cards or 2 scrapbook layouts or 2 canvases for one cut. Which is kind of the same principles I'm going to be working on later on, as doing pairs of cards.
Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Is that better for Zine?
Yes, I believe so. So, any other questions?
That's a long one from me today.
It is a long one for you. You're usually quicker than me. Mind you, I think this afternoon could be a long one. Because I'm going to be doing 2 cards from one set of cuts, but there's going to be stamping in that, there's going to be a bit of ink blending.
And you're going to do that thing Tracy asked about for me?
Yes, with the text.
Mm-hmm.
So I will see how I can do that.
I quite like that.
I'm thinking about that one.
If there's no further questions?
Not at the moment. So I think we might call it a morning.
A morning, yeah. Or an evening for you, Tracy.
And we'll see you back at 2. And I will be doing a bit of work with foam.
Yeah. Is Lou still doing hers?
I don't know. That's really
Okay.
bad. I didn't.
So you may have Lou at 12, we're not sure. Pete is back at 12:30 doing his giveaway. I think Leslie is on at 1:30, but I'm not sure. So have a look at 1:30, see if Leslie's on from Chocolate Baroque, and then we'll be back at 2 o'clock with our afternoon feed.
Okay. So Carol says, can you put a link up for the sticky stuff we were using last week? And A4 sheet, but it won't cut out. Maybe it's too thick. No, I haven't found one yet that's too thick. So I've used the Creative Expression one, the dot and dab, and the score tape, and all of those have been absolutely fine. The technique we did last week, you only cut through the backing paper anyway. But for the one where you go all the way through, it shouldn't make that much of a difference. That's okay, Linda. And we look forward to seeing you later.
Yeah, so you can do it on there too.
Yeah. Oh, I might just be using a bit of adhesive sheet later anyway.
Okay.
For my project. So.
But yes, I'll put a link up to the adhesive sheets for you.
Yeah, because we'll be talking about stabilising. Yay! Okay. So, take care for now, and we'll see you later. Bye!
Make sure you get the right one.